the cop was a horrible shot. And let me tell you why. Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and we are down on the range, and I'm testing out a very funny oddball Glock setup. I like to buy used equipment, used pistols, and many times the best prices for used pistols is surplus from local sheriff's department and law enforcement officers. So I have, of course, this is unloaded right now, even though I'm at the range and the range is down that way. So we're all good. All right, cicadas are out right now too. So this is a Glock 21. It is the 45 caliber. This is the fat slide Glock as well. 45 caliber, I got it for a song. At one time and place, this was used as a service pistol for a law enforcement officer, a normal beat cop, from what I can understand here. And it is very worn, but still very, very usable. One thing that I think is funny is the fact that I can tell immediately from looking at it is that the cop was a horrible shot. And let me tell you why. These have the really nice night sights from Glock, but that rear sight is drifted way over to the right, which means this guy was shooting way to the left. And pretty much the only reason why you do that is if you had horrible trigger control, or you were anticipating a shot, or you were flinching when you shot, something of that nature, something that usually you work your way through and get rid of after a couple thousand rounds of practice. Obviously, this cop never overcame that, or never shot this enough, which is surprising because it looks like it's been shot quite a bit. We do have a lot of police officers who come to shoot with the competition. We let them in for free, of course, because we want them to practice as much as possible to make sure those shots are true and clean. And unfortunately, just like in the real world, the random police officers, some are much better shots than others. Some of them are very, very good, very laser focused, laser beam accuracy, and many are not. Many are very slow and not good at hitting targets. It really is the case, because a lot of times police officers aren't really expected to shoot people. I know that's crazy, but police officers normally are there to keep the peace, to write tickets, to arrest people. They're not there to shoot tiny little holes in targets. They're there to provide a law enforcement presence. So I got a clean target right there, and we're going to shoot this to see how badly off the sights are. I'm using my lead cast semi wad cutter ammo today because that's what I've got handy. I've got a ton of it. I loaded a bunch of it many years ago. I'm still working through those 2 ammo cans. So here we go. All right, I'm just gonna go with center mass here, and we're gonna see how bad these are. I'm pointing center mass here. Look how far right I'm shooting. It's accurate. It's accurate. It's just not precise, I guess. So obviously we need to drift that rear sight back in the line, which I have the exact tool for that. Actually, a company sent it to me. I'll show the picture right there of it. And a company sent me that, and I said, you know, I am working on a video right now that I need that. So I'm going to show you how I adjust this. So let me show you real quick what the officer's doing here that would require the sight to be drifted so far to the right. They're anticipating their shot, basically flinching when they shoot, and when they do, they're pulling their gun off to the left. So if the sights are set up to shoot right and they flinch, or they anticipate the trigger, or they just have a horrible grip, then they're going to pull that pistol to the left. And right facing sights with a left pull with the horrible trigger discipline makes it accurate. So I guess they fit this to their horrible shooting abilities. They made this work. So I'm going to see if I can shoot this incorrectly and see if it stays on target here. It works. I just slapped the trigger back and it works. Yeah. Okay. So all you have to do is be a horrible shot, and this setup actually works. That is hilarious. Now this was only about 6 or 7 yards. This was not very far. but it was still enough to go from here. I was aiming right here on all the shots here. So this was slow and steady and with a correct hold. And these two were from slapping the trigger back as hard as possible. Now let's go back to the bunker and I'm going to show you how I fixed this situation. Normally what I would do in the past would be to take my brass punch here, which I bought a whole kit on, I guess, Amazon at some point, but it's got a little hammer with it and some different brass punches here. And I would just lock this down in my vise here using the polyurethane size to keep it all nice and scratch free. And I would, well, hit a lot harder than that, but I would go ahead and just knock that over there, and you can see where that's been done in the past, if I can get that to focus there. Like there's been some hammering on that before, which is expected because obviously that did not come from the factory like that. Today, we're gonna do something different here. Today, we're gonna test out this new, to me, item here from AccuCraft here, and it is a sight pusher. Pretty robust thing too. It's all steel and metal and aluminum and all that good stuff. It's a pretty impressive unit. Pretty much adjustable for all kinds of different sizes of slides, and everything pretty much gonna fit in there, looks like. Push that slide through there. And now we're going to do some adjustment here until this pusher. First, going to lock everything in there. I may be doing this wrong. I don't know. I did not read the directions. Very slow movement there, which is exactly what you want. And this should start just sliding that rear sight right over. Yep, it's going. Nice. Now, do I think that the cop that initially pushed those sights over to the side like that was a horrible shot? Probably. Probably, but not necessarily. That's not always the case. There could have been some sort of hand injury that caused that to be an issue. They could have been shot in the hand during duty, and that was the only way they could hold it and fire it correctly. That's a possibility. Let's see how that looks there. I'm just eyeballing this. A little bit more. Let's go over a little bit more here. Yeah, more than likely, the police officer just was not a great shot. As you can see right here, this sight pusher is equally capable of adjusting the rear sight on a 1911 slide. Pretty much anything that uses a dovetail sight can be pushed by this sight pusher. I've also heard you shouldn't be using a drift style hammer setup to adjust the sights on night sights because it can destroy the glowy part and at least diminish the life expectancy of that. So for nighttime sights, I do recommend a sight pusher versus a drift punch setup. We are now back in business. Of course, can't focus that well. Come on, Canon. And we are back in business there. Let's go back to the range and test her out. We are now back down at the range. I have another target set up, about 10 yards away this time around. I'm going to basically just slow fire a few just to make sure that the sight's putting the rear sight right smack dab in the middle is where she's supposed to be. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I expected to be able to put those sights right smack dab in the middle, and it worked, and it did. Look at that. 3 nice, beautiful holes right in the A target, and that was roughly 10 yards away. Pretty dang sweet, if I do say so myself. Well, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you have any comments, questions, show ideas, leave that in the comment box below the video. I try to answer as many of those as possible. As always, you guys have a great day. See ya.